Hello everyone. Welcome to another tutorial, or would I call this a showcase? So today I'll be talking about using Prisma Client in Python, right? So if you're not familiar with Prisma, you can check out Prisma at prisma.io. I'll probably leave the link in the description for you to check that out. So Prisma is one of the leading ORMs I know and I use, right, especially in the TypeScript and Node.js environment. So I am a big fan of Prisma, and ever since I found out about Prisma, I've always wanted to use it with Python. But up until now, like recently, I haven't been able to do that. Then I found this project on GitHub, right? So the project apparently has been around for a while, but I didn't know about it, right? So based on what they currently have here, this has been going on for almost 2 years ago. Like the project's probably more than a year already. And okay, and I found this recently, then I just decided I would give it a try. Just today is the first time I would work with it, and it was actually very smooth. No, I loved the whole experience. It was exactly as if I was using it in a Node.js or TypeScript or whatever. The IntelliSense I got from it, like the typings I got from it, they were just they were just like unmatchable based on the current capacity of Python, like, or let me say, of other ORMs in Python, right? So yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys how to set it up with Python, and just so we can have a full insight as to how to use it with existing APIs or platforms, right? So I'm going to be showing you how to use it with FastAPI, and FastAPI is one of my favorite tools to use for APIs, to build APIs, right? And one reason I like FastAPI is the fact that it's I think they call it framework agnostic. It works with anything you want it to work with, right? So out of the box, it's easily let me not use the word out of the box, right? But it's integrates smoothly with basically anything, and I believe integrating it with Prisma would be just a breeze. Like it wouldn't be an issue at all, right? So just let's get to it. Let's get started. Okay. The first thing I want to do is open a folder. Yeah, so I'm going to put it in my projects directory, then create a new folder. Let me just call it Prisma Fast API blog, something like this. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, right, is create a virtual environment for to install the entire setup I'll be using, right? So I would do virtual env venv. So I'm on a Mac, so I have multiple versions of Python installed, but I want to use the current version of Python I have like activated. I think that's 3.10. So I'm not sure, so that's why I'm just going to do this command here, which Python 3. So this should give me the current version of Python I have installed on my laptop, or I have activated. So I'm going to activate this virtual environment by doing source venv slash bin then slash activate. Okay, so I have Python 3.10.12. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is git init, just to, okay, and the next thing I would want to do here is to do the git ignore stuff. I'm just doing this now because I would be pushing this to GitHub, like once I'm just done with the whole thing. Yeah, so I don't want to forget to do all of this. I'll most likely add it either way, but I might as well just add it now. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do here is I want to set up yeah, I want to set up FastAPI first. Okay, so to get that done, I would go to this place and do pip install FastAPI, then uvcon as well. And these are the two most basic things you could this most basic dependencies you need to run a FastAPI app project, right? Yeah. So I'm going to install this. Okay. So probably because I had it installed previously, so it's just reusing the cache, I guess. So yeah, this is being installed, and just for aesthetics sakes, I'm going to upgrade my pip as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is install the Prisma client. Right. So let me see, installing Prisma client. Yes. So instead of the -u flag, I'm just going to do pip install Prisma like this. Of course, I think it's reusing the cache I previously had here as well. So the next thing I want to do before I forget to do it is I want to freeze the dependencies into a requirements file, requirements.txt. Okay, so then I have all the requirements just in this place here like this. All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to just copy the basic setup they have for FastAPI. Of course, you could set FastAPI up anyhow you want, but you know, I'm just copying their example here, and I'm going to select my VS Code interpreter to use the recommended here. That's the currently activated environment, right? Okay, so to run the command, I'm going to just use this to run the server, rather the API server. I'm going to use this here. Okay, I'm going to leave this running and do any other thing I need to do, probably in another split terminal here or something, right? Okay, so the next thing I want to do in this case is to start a Postgres server. Currently, I have one here running, so I'm just going to stop this. Then I'm going to create a Docker Compose file because I prefer that to manage Docker services, right? So you can just use any Postgres instance you want, right? Or if you have Postgres installed locally too, you might as well just use it, but I'm just going to go with this. So services, I just need one service, which is the Postgres, right? Then the image is Postgres 15 Alpine. I think this should be the latest anyways. So yeah, then the next thing I want to specify here is the ports. So 5432 on 5432, yeah. Then the environment is what I want to specify next. I'm going to be using Postgres DB to be Postgres, then Postgres user, Postgres password, Postgres, and everything looks fine here. Okay, so this should work for the sake of this project, right? So the next thing I want to do is just start this using uh the built-in UI, or let me say the UI extension from VS Code I installed anyways. So yeah, that service is running. So if I check here, this is, yeah, the service is running over here. All right, so the next thing I want to do is yes, I want to, according to, let's follow the documentation here. So the Prisma schema, right? So this is what they have currently, right? So they have the Prisma schema here. So I'm going to copy all of this and paste it in my own project, right? But of course, instead of going with the SQLite provider, we are going to be using Postgres. But still, I'm going to just copy everything they have here first. Then I would create a file in here inside the Prisma folder. Then I'll do prisma.schema like this. Or is it, no, sorry, is actually schema.prisma. anyways, yeah, schema.prisma like this. Yes, so I'm going to paste this here. I'm going to clear out the user field. We would not be using that for the sake of this tutorial. And yes, we don't need the author and the ID. We don't need the views counts. We probably need a content. Yeah, we need a content. Yes, we need a content field here. Then I'm going to clear this out. Clear this out. Clear this out. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use the Postgres provider here, and I'll be adding the. Let me just clear this and do env exactly. Bravo. Yeah, so this is what I would want. Then there is this other configuration I do not know. Okay, yes, the interface, right? So for simplicity's sake, I would be using the sync interface instead of the async interface, right? Okay, so what else? Okay, yeah, I would want to change this ID as well. I'll just leave it to auto increment anyways. I think this looks fine. So we have the post model here. That's the only model we have for now. Then I believe we are good to go. So the next thing I want to do here is I want to migrate my database, right? I want to create migrations for my database. So the first thing I do in any Prisma project is just to do Prisma. This would work because I've installed Prisma previously in my virtual environment. So if I do which Prisma, yes, I should see it here in my project environment. It's in the bin folder, which is going to be accessible on the env part, or if I'm saying that correctly, you know what I mean. So I would do Prisma migrate dev, then the name of the migration I would do init. So if you've been using Prisma before, this is how you understand what is going on here before. But if this is your first time hearing about Prisma or using Prisma, this is how you run migrations in Prisma. You add the name as well. Okay, I forgot to add this to the env. I need to create an env file, right? So I need to create an env file in here, .env, then add database URL to be Postgres SQL. I think, I'm not sure, right? I'm never sure about this, but let me just try this if it would work. Add local hosts 5432. I never know how to generate this URL, by the way. So at Postgres, then schema to be public, I believe. All right, so I believe this should work, hopefully. So let's try the migration again. Okay, so automatically it picks up the .env file, which is actually something easy for it to do. So yeah, the migration file, if we check this folder here, it created a migration file, which is awesome, right? And in development, the migration is automatically applied when you do db migrate. So let's try to connect. I think I'm connected actually to the database. So I'm going to refresh this. Okay, it's refreshed already. So we can see this post database already. We can see the post table here. So we will see it as the ID, title, content, and published field like we defined, right? Okay. So then in terms of migration, that works, right? So the next thing we want to try out is we want to be able to do some basic CRUD operations on the table, right, using Prisma. So I'm very excited about this, right? So I think the first thing we want to do here is just let's see our FastAPI interface, the documentation, how does it look like. So let's just check that out. Okay, so I'm going to go to /docs. Okay, yeah, so by default FastAPI comes with Swagger documentation, right? So automatically all your endpoints are added to as documented like in Swagger pattern and all like that. So if you check this, you see this endpoint is supposed to return hello then world, just like that. So if we try this out and execute, we are going to get that exact thing, hello world, like this. Same thing if we try the other one as well, right? If we try the other one, it's going to work the same way. but we are not going to use this. So what we are going to change this to work as is to list posts, right? So lists posts, that's what we are going to do here. So what we are going to do is we are going to connect Prisma to our database, then fetch the post data from the database and return it, then close the database connection. That's what we are going to do. So to do that, we are going to check here again, right? So the way they did that in here is using this method here. So we are going to import Prisma here. So we are going to import the Prisma client in this case here. So we do Prisma import Prisma, right? So then we instantiate the DB by doing Prisma dot, no, I think it's let me check that. Yeah, Prisma first, then db dot connect, like this. Okay, then I would call my posts in here, then I would do db dot posts, like this. Okay, then I want to do find many. Yes, find many. Okay, then I want to close the connection actually, so I would disconnect from here, like this. Then instead of returning hello world in here, I'm going to return posts, just like this. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to close this up. Okay, I'm not using a lot of these things. I don't know why I always have them open, by the way. Okay, I think this is minimal. It was quite disturbing having all of those things opened. Okay, I'm probably going to close Telegram as well. Okay, yeah, so we are going to try this out and see if it works, or at least do we get anything, right? Okay, so I'm going to refresh this endpoint. Okay, okay. Something crashed. I don't even know what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to try this out and execute. Of course, we should get an empty array, right? Because we don't have any post yet. So we are going to create an endpoint to add posts, right? So what we are going to do now is do app.posts. Then on the same route, then we are going to create the function. We are going to say create posts, like this. Okay, so to create a post, we need to have a base model. That's a Pythonic base model. So I'm going to call this class create posts, like this. Then I'm going to inherit from here base model. So you should install import base model from Pythonic itself. Then we need let me check that out. So what do we need? We need a title, contents, and a publish status, right? Title should be a string. Then contents, I think this is an optional string anyways. Yeah, optional string or none. I think this syntax should be correct. Oh, sorry, it's just optional. Then equal to none by default, right? Then yes, then there is the published status, published, to be boolean, like this. Yes, this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do is we are going to come to our create post API here, or endpoint rather. Then we would just add create posts data in here, like this. Or I'll just call this create post DTO instead. Create post DTO. So I would call this DTO easily. So create posts DTO, right? Okay. I think this is just all we need to do to get data from the post body, right? So the next thing we want to do, we want to also have this Prisma connection here. So I'm going to copy that. Of course, there's a better way to do this connection thing, right? Just for the sake of demo, or for demo purposes rather, we are going to just go with this simple approach here, right? Okay, so the next thing I would do here is return the post once it's created, but we need to make some changes to this query here. Instead of find many, we need to do create. Okay, so create takes in data. Then in our data, this is the sweet part, right? Once I type this, it gives me the expected data, right? The things I'm supposed to add, right? So I'm going to do instead of adding it one by one, right? I don't want to just add this one by one. I'm going to use something. I'm going to use the I'm going to use dto.model dump. The model dump function is available in Python itself. Another thing I want to do, I want to exclude fields that are not passed, right? Like so, just like the contents field now, it's optional. So in case that field is not passed, instead of passing none to Prisma, it's just going to exclude that field by itself. So yeah, that's what is going to happen with this model, then exclude none, right? Okay, so if we try this out, let me refresh and see everything we have again. So we should have list endpoint and create an endpoint. So if we try this out, let me see. Okay, title, I can call this demo projects. Then I could call the content showcasing Prisma clients in Python with fast API. It's actually together like this, fast API. Okay, then the status by default published is to true. Then I'm going to execute this. Then it should get saved with the ID of 1. This is awesome. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, so we are going to just try to save the same thing again. Since it's nothing unique, we should be able to get away with saving this multiple times. So I'm going to save this again. We should get ID of 2. The ID here is changing. So I'm going to zoom this a bit. Yes, so we get an ID of 2 here. So I can still save it again, just to I'll save it a couple more times just to have some, nice looking data in the list. So if we check the list here and we try it out again, execute, then we should have a list of posts in here already, right? Should have a list of posts in here. So I think the most elegant part of this project, that's the Prisma Python client, right, is the fact that I have typings, or let me say, yeah, I think it's typings. I have access to like good typings, right? I want I want to experience this type of typings more often in Python, right? Given the fact that I'm a big fan of TypeScript, right? And I'm kind of getting used to this mindset of having a type environment. So this would actually be a very good start for me, right? And for those that are familiar with Fast API as well, Fast API is big on typing, right? And I love them for that, which is why I'm also a big fan of Fast API. So I believe with this short demo, you guys have been able to get an insight of how to use Prisma to work with Fast API. And I can't just wait to show what I'm going to build with this. Like, I have a lot of things to build in mind already, because I have some existing projects that are written in TypeScript, Golang, and a couple of other languages and all. And now I feel more confident, or let me say I feel more comfortable migrating them to Python, to Fast API specifically. And some of my Django projects I currently have, I would be so happy to migrate them to use Prisma in Python with Fast API. Like, I'm just so excited about this development. And apparently, I recently checked, the project has been going on for about 2 years on GitHub, and I just found out about it about 2 weeks ago, right? So the commit they add on their, I think the highest commit I could find, or the longest commit rather, oh, it's apparently 3 years. Yes, 3 years ago this has been going on. So that was their license. Okay, so this is their initial commit, like that here. So that's 3 years ago, and this project has been existing, and I am just getting to hear about it, or I just stumbled across it on my GitHub explore page recently, and man, I'm glad I actually came across this. Yeah, so you guys should check out the project, give it a very big star, right? Because the project is actually awesome, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Right, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I believe with this let me call it a short demo. All right, it's actually short, I believe. You're able to get how to use Prisma with Python, right? So thank you guys for watching. I'll be sure to see you guys on the next video, right? I know there has been there are always gaps in between my videos, and oh, I apologize for that. So yeah, uh don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to just actually share to the people that you believe actually need it, because that's quite important to me, right? Let this get to the people that need it as well, right? And then this is an invitation for everybody to embrace uh type typing in Python as well, right? Let's put it that way. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.